Welcome, Bravehearts, to this week's Joy Stream. I'm Janelle Orion, erotic wellness practitioner, advocate, educational porn star. And first, I want to show you my shirt. I love it so much. It's from Maison Margiela. My favorite store to shop at is a thrift store called Common Threads. So that's actually what I'm highlighting, is how many amazing finds you can find at thrift stores. So if you live in Denver, you should check out Common Threads. This has been a really fascinating week, as many things which I had seeded a few months ago have come into fruition. Today is the new moon in Leo, as well as a total solar eclipse. So there are beginnings, there are endings, there are things happening in the cosmic realms that I am an embodiment of here in my human form. Very little of which I understand, I just know to be true. My Just Say No this week ties back to a few weeks ago when I did a 7-day self-pleasure challenge live streamed on OnlyFans. And the revelation that came to me during that time was the more that I disclose myself, the more protected I am. Because no one has anything they can hold over me. They can't say, oh, I've got a video of you doing something explicit, and I'm going to turn it over to the media or to your dad or to your brother, because I've already done that. I've already released the most explicit things about myself to the world. My friends know what I do. My family knows what I do. And so in this way, I feel protected, and my kinks and my desires and my boundaries are all there for the world to know. I'm not hiding them. There's a woman named Carly Sciortino who has a Substack, and she wrote this past week about a sex NDA, which apparently is pretty common in the celebrity world, meaning that a celebrity has someone who they're interested in or just is going to have sex with sign an NDA so that they can never disclose ever what they've done together. While I totally understand while they're doing that, it's also pointing to what I think is actually a wound in our culture. That our kinks and our desires, we have to hide them because they're going to be used against us. And that has been true. And my hope and my desire and how I'm living my life right now is an example of the future. That I'm bringing the future to the present, and I'm a seed for what can come. That all of us can live openly and transparently in the desires and the kinks and all the things that turn us on without fear for retribution. So my Just Say No is to hiding who I am. My Just Say Yes has to do with something I said in the episode 16 Joy Stream about trusting that the $25K I needed to make August payroll and rent was going to come through. And I was actually a little bit more freaked out about rolling Slack out to my team. In last week's Joy Stream, I spoke about the conversation and conflict that I had with my brother that I didn't collapse into. And as a result, another idea came through 15 minutes after that conversation. And that idea was to sell my car. I could give you all the reasons why it was so obvious and so perfect and aligned for me to sell the car. And the one I'll share is it was a blue car, and I'm supposed to have a red car. But nonetheless, I didn't get a new car. I just sold that one. And lo and behold, the $25K that I needed to pay for August rent and payroll landed without constriction, with just saying, oh, there's a sign and I'm moving forward, which leads me to my Just Say, wow, which is I no longer own any assets. I don't own the Goddess Temple. Over the past several years, I have withdrawn my entire retirement savings to pay for the Goddess Temple and for the various experiences I've had to support my own erotic wellness. And now I've sold my car. And the revelation that came through after I sold my car was I am infinitely abundant, and that ownership does not equal abundance. And quite frankly, I'm shocked at how free I feel as a result of selling my car. I can feel, and this gets to be the seed, and we'll see how it weaves into my next joy streams. What I'm really excited about is starting an experiment of calling in collective resources that people have that they don't need. They might not even know that they have, that someone else could benefit from. So for example, one of the ways that I was in such ease about letting go of my car was that I have a friend who has an extra car, and we made an arrangement for me to borrow it for the next 7 weeks until I go to New Zealand. And so her car, which was just going to be sitting in a driveway, is now going to be driven around by someone who's so appreciative and grateful, and then go back. And then my other experiment is that in order to get to New Zealand, I'm calling in airline miles from people who might not even know that they have airline miles. For the Star Alliance in particular, it's United and Air New Zealand that fly Denver to Auckland. And I'd love to get miles to fly there when I go to be in the outer ring at the mystery school, which I've been to in the past. And the outer ring means I'm volunteering my time to be in service for the next cohort that's coming in. So this is an experiment of calling in collective resources that can be dispersed amongst our community. So if you're someone who has airline miles in the Star Alliance, by all means, let me know. I would be so grateful to receive them. And otherwise, thank you, Brave Hearts, for being here, and I'll see you next week.